Okay. Hello and welcome to the first update video that I have done in months, maybe half a year. I am very sorry. I'm very sorry because it's not representative of what the project has actually been doing. OpenMarch is moving faster than it ever has, faster than any update video I've made before. There's been so much that's happening, so many people that have been giving us so much support. I have a lot that I want to say about how grateful I am about how the project is going, all the people that are helping, all the people that are supporting us. But I want to hop right into just the new features that we have, or the new features that have sort of accumulated over the last 6 months. I'm going to skip over some of the minor bug fixes. If you're a user of OpenMarch, you probably have noticed those. But as always, if you are curious what has been happening, or like what has changed in OpenMarch at all, you can always just go to, I'm going to share my screen here. You can always just go to our website, openmarch.com, and we have a backlog on our download page of everything that has happened. So I believe the last time I did an update was around the 0.0.12 era, and then we didn't have an update for like 4 months because I was rewriting almost the entire database logic, and also people were already using it for the marching season, so it kind of seemed like I had missed the train had passed at that point. But yeah, we're going to be going through everything that I think you're going to be interested in these handful of updates here. But I'll hop right into it, and I'll rant at the end of the video. So first thing we are going to do is I'm going to open the indoor show that I am writing for the high school that I work with. And this is in the spirit of indoor happening. We have found that there are, in fact, hundreds of groups that are using OpenMarch to write indoor. So we very much think that this is something that we are going to be targeting, as in like the features that we are making. In fact, the things that marching bands need and the thing that indoor groups need are very, very different. So the indoor groups, some like stage their indoor groups, maybe more like a dance team, maybe more like theater. There might not need to be as many like box rotation-y sort of things, like things when you're worried about 300 or 500 people. You don't need those same tools in indoor. So I'm very curious to see how people use it, what their feedback is, and what we can do to make it better for this season, but even more so following seasons. Some pretty glaring omissions that I'm going to get out of the way really quick, because I know these are the very most requested features. Props aren't in yet. It's not hard. This is just me admittedly not getting to it with all of the other things that have been happening with OpenMarch. I'm really sorry that I didn't get to it in time for like the indoor season before it kicked into full swing. But as you can see here, I kind of just used marchers as props for right now, which at least for my show was like fine, but I do very much acknowledge that's something that a lot of people find very necessary, and I'm going to get those in as soon as possible. But yes, just saying they're not there. The other thing that's not there, but there's very good news, is curve pathways and follow the leader. This is not because an Alex is lazy thing. This is because we are very much trying to make sure that we do this right. We don't want to have a half-baked implementation where it's like, yeah, you can kind of curve your pathways or you can kind of do a follow the leader. We have a lot of thoughts and ideas for how we want to structure the OpenMarch shape system. Like what is a shape? How are marchers grouped together in a way that makes a lot of sense and that isn't frustrating for you as a designer? There's a lot of thought that is going into that, and people on the OpenMarch team are putting into that to make sure that it is good. And we, as I've said, we are definitely going to have something for that out by the fall season. But I'm sorry, that doesn't help with anything right now. I myself, in this show that I'm writing for my high school, find it really hard to conceptualize things when I don't have curved pathways. So I understand the pain. I understand the annoyance. We are getting to it, I promise. I just want to make sure when it gets to you, it's actually really good. All to say, that is my excuses and excuses for procrastinating out of the way. I have so much stuff. We, as an OpenMarch team, have so much stuff we want to show you. And all of these, this is probably going to be like a quick quasi tutorial on everything that has happened, but most of the things I'm going to show you, if not all, also have tutorials on the OpenMarch website. Again, if you go to openmarch.com and then guides, you'll see there's a ton of documentation for how everything works. This is importing audio, setting tempo, canvas navigation. I even have instructions or reverting to a previous version if we release something that is broken and you need to do something quickly. That's happened a couple times. There was an update where you couldn't make a new file. Our bad. We fixed it like the next day, but that's how you revert versions, editing fields. All of these things, if you were not aware that OpenMarch had these guides, they are here. And in addition, these are in addition to the YouTube videos that we put so much work into. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually a pretty easy one. So say in your indoor floor, let's say we have all of our snares here. There's two ways you could select the snares. You could either press each of them at a time and hold shift. You could do this box thing. But the problem with this box thing is we also have our like backdrop sort of prop here. So one thing that you can do, and oops, that's not what I want. Keycaster. One thing that you can do is you can hold shift and lasso. You can hold shift and lasso around, and then boom, you have all of your snares there. I have my axis lock on. But then the other thing you can do that I'm really proud of, I'm proud of the start for it. I hope it becomes easier. But we have this new, I'll zoom in a little bit. We have this new select tab at the top here, where you can select by either section, tag, family, or drill prefix. Now you might be asking, okay, section, trumpet, snare, that makes sense. Family, woodwind, brass, battery, sure. Drill prefix, maybe, but you might be thinking like, what in the world is a tag? That's something we're going to get to later. But let's say we want to select just our snares. We would click select by section, and then press snare, and then boom. All of our snares are selected and we can move them as we are used to. Now let's say, fast forward a little bit, let's say we have a set where all of the batteries together and we want to move them all in a direction. So I could do the lasso thing, or I could do snare, holding shift, bass drum, holding shift, tenors, and then that works. When you hold shift and press these, holding shift and pressing these buttons at the top adds to the selection. So snare, shift, tenors, shift, bass drum. I was holding shift the whole time. If you don't do that, snare, tenors, bass drum, it replaces the selection. You can do that, but let's say, oh, well, I know I just want the whole battery. You can do by family and then battery, and then boom, it goes there. Now, let's say, now that we're here and we have all of our batteries selected, let's say, well, hey, I want these to now be flipped for whatever reason. Like I want them to flip vertically. We have a few new buttons over here. You may have noticed we've moved stuff from the top tab over here to the right side over here. I'll get my face out of the way. All right, maybe I can just move it. There we go. Very professional. You can't. No, that looks silly. Yeah. My gosh. Screen over. Okay, cool. Yeah. So we can either with these buttons on the side, you can. Oh, hold on one sec. Okay, there we go. Sorry, that was bothering me. I wanted you to be able to see my face. Yes. So one thing that you can do is while you are. Sorry, we moved the alignment buttons from the top here. You may have remembered that's where a lot of these things were, to the marcher inspector. In my opinion, I thought this made more sense because when the buttons are up here, they don't do anything unless you have a marcher selected. So they're over here now. I'm not married to this idea. There's been a few people who are already a little bit confused and don't like it that much, but I'm not sure if that's just because that is how it was or it just looks better in the top. That's just a UX thing we're going to have to experiment with a bit more. But yes, say you want to flip these horizontally. There's this flip button here. Boom, that does that. Very simple. Let's say you want to flip them, that was vertically, I guess, or flip horizontal. I always get confused what that is. But yeah, flip vertically. You can also do Alt-Shift-F. for that. And then let's say you want to flip horizontally like this, you could just do Alt F and then boom, it flips like that. So pretty easy, nothing too crazy. And then we have, of course, our alignment features here. Those are the same as they were. We also have our buttons to distribute by step size. So let's say we have these marchers like this, and I select all of these. Boom. And I want to distribute them evenly from side to side. There we go. You can do that. Let's say, though, now we had them at a line here, and you were like, hey, I really want these to actually be 2 steps apart, like very defined 2 steps. Instead of just pressing this, which will calculate the distance between the first and last marcher. So if we have our first marcher here and last, do that and then distribute. It does that. Pretty sensible. Instead of doing that, you could just press type 3 in here, and then boom, it does it 3 steps. You could do 5. Boom. You could do 0.5. All of that works just as you think it would. And the same thing works for vertical. You can just select all these marchers here, and then let's organize them vertically like this. Whoopsie. Organize them vertically like that, and then say we want them to be 2 steps apart vertically. Boom. That's what it is. Same thing, 3 steps. Boom. Very easy. You might be thinking like, okay, that's cool, but what if I want to maintain a step size from shape to shape? Very good question and very good point, and that's exactly the kind of thing we're trying to work on with our new shape system. So right now, this is just static, like that. It's just you distribute by step size in that moment, and that is it. So yes. Okay. Another very quick thing that I want to mention is notice how, like, let's say I have this group here. Like, let's say our snares and top 2 basses happen to be doing a lot of things together, and we're like, okay, we want these to be a group, or they're like moving along. Say they're soloists or something. Maybe we have a small group of these. So we could have, all we need to do to group these, if you know you're going to be frequently selecting marchers, as in, if you know you are going to be frequently selecting marchers many times over, whether you have soloists, small ensembles, whatever it is, all you do is select the marchers that you want to, go over here, and there is a new tag menu that you might notice. Create new tag with selected marchers. That's what we want to do. Press that. Give it a name. We could do top, bass, and snares, something like that. Press create tag, and boom, it is there. Now, you might be thinking, what did that do? Great. Well, why do I care? You can, when you click on it, either rename the tag, if you didn't like what you did, delete it, of course, but you can also edit the appearance. And if we go back to that select tab that we learned about earlier, select by tag, now we have top, bass, and snare, and it's right there. You'll notice that I already have a few other tags in here. Like, for example, one thing that I want to show off is we have these tree props in our show, and these trees are different sizes. So I changed the appearance of these trees so that when we distributed them in a straight line, I could understand how random it was. One thing that we've had a lot of requests for is something like an equipment change. And while we don't have like a 3D viewer or anything like that yet, this kind of thing is something you could do exactly for an equipment change. So let's dig into that example a little bit, actually. So let's say we have our bass drums, and our bass drums happen to be, let's pretend we're an indoor guard for right now. Let's say our bass drums happen to be rifles, and we need to understand, like, hey, like part 1 rifles. We know that they're going to be doing that, but we don't want to like change the color of them the entire time. Like, what you might do is like, okay, we're going to change these dots to this color. All you have to do, if you create a tag and then say part 1 rifles, create tag, now you see it shows up there. You can select by that. Great. But if you click on one of them, you'll notice the tag shows up because anytime you select on the marcher, that tag will show up. Just click that, press edit appearance. And then our new appearance editor that I am so excited to show you, and I'm going to move my head over here, that I am so excited to show you, shows up. And you'll notice there's two different things. We have it by page, and then there's just add tag appearance. So where we were on page 30, let's go ahead and add a tag appearance here. Press add tag appearance, part 1 rifles, and say we want these rifles to be a very deep red, maybe a brown outline. That's really ugly. Like a yellow outline, still ugly, but not that bad. And then they are squares in this moment. So all you need to do once that happens is... Okay, sorry, really quick. I thought it was broken, but in fact, no. There is something that's a little broken, but I'll help you out. So add tag appearance, and then press part 1 rifles, and then you're going to click fill color. We said yellow. You have to press right now. I'll fix this, but right now, as of this video, you have to press save, and then boom, you'll see it instantly show up. Outline color. Oh no, we did fill was red. Fill red. Boom. Outline color yellow. Boom. And then we also wanted these to be squares. Great. Now that we have this, let's say they are going to be, all right, we're on page 30. Let's say we want them to be this style until page 32. And then after that, we want them to turn into maybe brown, outline color, and then circles. So you'll note if we follow, bring this down, if we follow our drums from page 30 to 31 to 32, boom, they turn into that, into the brown outline squares that we had. A quick thing to note is anytime any of these values are empty, they will default to whatever the section style is. So let's discard this. Oopsie, discard. Maybe not. Let's delete this really quick. And another thing I have to fix. Part 1 rifles we said, and then they were circles. Well, they're already circles. But notice, like, if I make them into a triangle, okay, well, they're pink and then white. Where are they getting these colors from? That is from our section appearances. Our bass drums are always pink and white unless we change their color, and then by default, they're going to be that. So these are in a hierarchy. The order is your section colors are always going to be the default of what your section is. And then if you ever have a tag color, that is going to override whatever the section color happened to be in that moment. So our fill color, it's white now it's red. But when it's undefined or when it's empty like that, it's always just going to fall back to whatever that was. So if we make both of these undefined, that's where it would go. I tried our best to make it so that they updated immediately, but if you ever find that it's out of sync, just give it a quick refresh, and then it should go back into shape again. Sorry if it is not exactly there. Toggle developer tools, but yes, if you ever notice that it's out of sync, usually a quick refresh will fix it. Again, we're working on that. So to recap, when you want to change the style of a certain group of marchers, whether they be part of the same section or different section, you just create a tag, and then click on that tag, edit appearance, and then you will go right there. Cool. The last thing I want to say is if you're like, okay, well, the section styles are the default, and then the tag styles go on top of that. What about like the default? What if I create marchers, like we don't have any tuba in here? What if I create like 5 tubas or 4 tubas? Where is that? How do they get their styles? Those are in the field default styles. So what you're going to do there is it's not in this customization tab here, this marcher appearance tab. It's actually going to be part of the field customization. So if you go to the field customizer that we're very familiar with at this point, go to theme, and then scroll down, you'll notice now that there is a marcher fill section where you can define a default shape type, whether it be circle, square, triangle, whatever, even X at this point. You can also reset it to the default, but then also here you can define a default marcher outline, whether it be white. And these, I think you press this and then save. Yeah, you might need to do a refresh on these ones. Or maybe it just doesn't work at all. Ooh, I know what it is, actually. It's the transparency. That's it. I thought I fixed this, but Presumably not. The outline by default, I believe the transparency is set to 0. So just set that to 100 and then boom, that's there. And you don't need to refresh. Brown, all of that. Great. You can also change something that is very helpful on this floor. By default, the text is black, and that was really hard for me to read. You can, by default, change the marcher text, and then that changes. And then the shapes is just like when you create a line or something, what color that is. Last thing I'll say on tags is you'll notice that, well, I don't have props, but like none of these props have text over these. That's because these houses, as I call them, section appearance is where it is. These houses, as I've been calling them, or like props, are actually drum majors in disguise, because you don't need drum majors. So I just put a bunch of drum major marchers on the field, and then I just hid their text color. So if you look on the left here in our section appearance, you can do this for either a section or a tag. Just click the text, and then you'll notice that the text just goes away. You can also, if you really want to, just make a section completely invisible. Say you're like, hey, I really don't want to see the tubas right now. I just want to work on something that's happening with like the guard or like the trumpets. You can just hide them. This little eye icon will go away, and then you just press that, and then they're visible again. Same thing with text. They can be visible or not, and all of this will persist on the PDF export that you have. You can also, in a similar vein with tags, make tags visible and invisible dependent on the page. So again, remember we were here. Let's say we wanted to make our rifles hidden. Remember, these are our rifles. Just hide them, and then boom, they're invisible on that page. But then once we go to the last page, they're visible again. Remember, bass drums were our rifles in this case. Yep, I think. And then last thing, let's say you have, let's say like, okay, this is great, but what about for the case where I have a marcher that has multiple tags? Like for example, our bass drums here, they are part 1 rifles. Yeah, so remember earlier we made our bass drums have these tags, top bass drums and snares. Well, now they are both there. So if we add an appearance for this, top bass drums and snares, we add a fill color, and let's say it's like white and there are triangles. You'll notice that because of that being there, this is overriding what is happening. Currently, the way that we get around this is by prioritizing different things. So, for example, if we add a tag, let me step back. We are on page 29. On page 29, our top basses, which is bass 1 and 2, become a triangle and white. And then on page 30, all of our rifles have an outline color. You'll notice there's kind of like a mix in between them. If you were like, no, on this page, I know that top basses and snares are not as important as part 1 rifles, just add a tag appearance here, and then you'll see that it immediately reset. But you might be like, okay, what? Well, let's make this white again, make this like that. And you'll notice that as you change the order of what these are, it's changing the priority of these tags. So when top bass and snare is at the top, it's like, this is the most important. I changed the outline color to red. That is the most important thing that's happening. When there are 2 performers or marchers that have the same tag, they are going to go in whatever order you just said. But if you put top basses and snares at the bottom, then it's going to ignore those. But you'll notice if we go to our snares over here, these snares do have this color because they don't have the part 1 rifles tag. So it may take a little bit of like experimenting and getting used to, but the idea is you can dynamically assign groups of marchers based on like things that aren't sections. So like if you have like a small ensemble, if you have a handful of soloists, if you have maybe a group of performers that you know are really good at marching and can have big step sizes, you can group them in whatever way you want. And after you group them, just press select by tag, and then you can just click those at any time you want. You're like, okay, I want all of my part 1 rifles, the people that were rifles in the past, they're going over here now. If we're doing like a drum corps example, you could have this tag is angels, this tag is demons, and then you could change their appearance like that. And since it's page by page, if you have like lights or a costume change or something like that, that can do this as well. You can set the whole ensemble to have the same tag. Like I can press this, boom, tag, whole ensemble, create, and then I can edit the appearance, and then maybe not on that page, but maybe on page 31, the entire ensemble is going to turn purple. But that happened. So yes, please let us know what you think of this feature. If there's anything that, like, as you noticed, there's some times where, okay, it's just playing this one and it's not. We're still working on the logic for like what hierarchy there should be for those types of decisions. But your feedback on that and how you use it, love it, hate it, would be extraordinarily helpful. Yeah, see, that's like, now I have to refresh. Okay. I believe that was it on tagging. I believe that was it on tagging and all those other things. Sorry, my developer tools really want to be here. There we go. Okay. A couple other things, a few other things. Let's say this is I'm going to preface, this is a Band-Aid. You want a circle. You select your marchers and you're like, great, I want a circle. We have shapes. My big head was not here. We have shapes at the bottom, shapes, as in just one. Just click that, boom, there's a circle. Not perfect. I mean, it is a perfect circle mathematically, but the feature isn't perfect. For example, if you wanted to resize it like this, that's fine. But say you wanted to squash it, you'll notice like, maybe that isn't exactly what I wanted. So again, we're working on it. Hopefully this is useful for you right now. And yeah, so there's circle. I have a checklist of the things I'm going through. Flip horizontally and vertically. We did the fixed positions. We did the circle. This is just sort of like a housekeeping thing, but it's worth saying. If you used OpenMarch sorry, my head going back and forth. If you used OpenMarch back in 2025, it's only like 18 days ago. You may have like noticed, if you haven't used it in a few months, that there was like this horrendous audio lag. But after you had played for a certain point, it would like clip it wouldn't clip. It would just like, it would be behind. The coordinates are now exactly mapped to where the audio file is. So like basically the canvas, or like where the marchers are, is constantly like trying to reference where the audio is. So it physically, but like mathematically should not go out of sync. Sometimes it might like skip a little bit, as in like if it's lagging, it will lag, but it's going to just like catch up immediately. Okay. All right. Next thing, and this is super exciting. I'm super excited about this. If we go to our app settings here, you go to app settings, you will notice, maybe some of you already have noticed, we now have localization. One of our contributors, John, did an incredible job doing this, and we got a very generous donation, I guess. Tolgi, the service that lets us do this, gave us a free membership to it, free subscription, because we are open source. And so with this, you are able to go into Spanish, French, Portuguese, Japanese, and really any other language that we can try to get to. And there is a whole page on the website that John made, where you who knows these languages better than us, can help us do this. And you don't even have to be a developer. Like basically, when we make a feature in OpenMarch, it's like this key, it's like add marcher button. And then there's this text editor that you have, that Tolgi has, where you can change what it is. I believe a lot of these were either made with Google Translate or AI. But every time we do that, every time we add a new thing, it like makes it like, this isn't verified yet, this isn't here. So if you speak one of the languages that's on here and you notice that there is a mistranslation, or like, hey, that isn't really how I would have put that there, please reach out to us. We would love to get a translation and localization community going to help get OpenMarch in the hands of as many people as possible, so anyone around the world can design shows. Yes, that would be absolutely fantastic. It is very much a community effort to get that done. Awesome. Cool. Next thing, this is really cool. Small, well, not small, it's important. we have a new updated notes feature. So our notes down here, it's not just in a different spot. If we or add a note, let's say bass drums go around props, zoom in for you. Now you can edit that like you would any text. So you can select it, bold it, you can italicize it, underline it, all of that. Maybe you can't underline it. But you can bold it, italicize it, all of that. You can make it multi-line. And of course, that will, when you export it onto a PDF, that will work. So for example, if I have export into drill charts, we have this notes appendix page now. Export, boom, and then click to open. And if we look at this PDF, we will see that our notes, those long notes that we made, what page was this on? This is on page 2. I hope it's here. Yep, there it is. There are our notes. You also, that notes appendix page we were talking about, it's at the end of the coordinate export. It is just pages that only have notes. If you find that will be helpful. Like set 14B, bass is spelled with E, bass right hand on the forward side of the beat, subset only for snares. Those kind of things, if that is helpful for you, of course, you can check that off. If it is not helpful for you, yeah, cool. We talked about tagging quite a bit. Section styles, like I said, those are now here in a very similar UI to what the tagging styles are. So here, and then section. If you go from the Marcher editor, just click March for appearance, it'll launch the same thing. Let me move my head back. Cool. Section styles, another quick thing, when you add section styles, there is now an in show, where it only shows you the sections that are in the show. So for example, the only one we haven't added is tuba, or you can do all, for whatever reason, if you want to set your section styles beforehand. That should make it a lot easier. And yep, we talked about how that you can change the text, make the text visible or not visible. Yeah, again, my props, these are trees that we have here. These are trumpets that I have shown. And then these back here, like I said before, these are drum majors. So that is the band-aid that I have done to have props in here. We've done tags, priority order, all of that. Ooh, this one I'm really excited about. So I will be the first to admit, there's a lot of things in OpenMarch that aren't perfect, but one thing that is very frustrating, especially as someone who's had to use OpenMarch to design their own show, is what if I get the tempo wrong? What if I just have to add a measure in between? You go to edit your measures and you're like, okay, well, what the hell? None of these are, like, I can do this, but you try to edit, I don't know why all these are custom. You try to edit, like, you can't edit the number of measures, you can't do this. That's annoying. And I understand it's annoying, but there's like a technical reason that I did that, because I can make all the excuses, but like basically to make it make the most sense, I'm like, we'll just table this and do it later, because it didn't make a ton of sense in the UI. Like if you change the number of measures from here, this is like measure 11, say we change the number of measures here to 6. Well, there's all these pages that are attached to these measures, so I had to think like, what's going to happen? But my whining aside, this is the solution that I came up with, and the Band-Aid, but I think it'll be very helpful. So you have, let's say we're in A to B and we have all these measures. Let's say, okay, we just need to add like a couple counts of silence or something, or like 2 measures of silence. All you're going to do is click on a measure, and then you'll see this new tempo editor pops up. And from here, you can do a lot of things. Maybe you wanted to make this a prime or something. Well, you have to press enter. You want to make this a prime, boom, that shows up here. Maybe you want to make this like closer, whatever you want, you can now edit it right there. And then boom, you have to press enter, kind of annoying. You can do that. You could also change the tempo of each beat. In this beat edit, or like inspector, I'm calling it, you can only edit the tempo of the beats 1 beat at a time. So say you're like really just trying to fine tune what it is. Maybe there's a bit of audio delay. Hey, I just need this 1 beat to be like 90 or something. Then boom, that 1 beat is 90. And again, that shows up there. You can undo, and of course that will go back. The other thing you can do that is pretty nifty is, let's say you wanted to add another measure, like we said. Click on measure 17, press add measure, and boom, now there is another measure there. And you'll notice that the audio hasn't moved at all, the page structure hasn't really moved at all. As in, like, if page 4A, or 4 to 4A, whatever you want to call it, will start and end on measure B. So that is where it is attached to. 4A is attached to this beat right here. So when you add a new measure, it'll just expand that page. And so if you were like trying to add some silence, maybe you add some silence in your notation editor and you don't want to like have to reorganize all your pages, you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to like change how all of your pages are. It'll just stretch out. It'll just stretch out that one page without affecting the rest of the show, assuming you had an audio file that did that. Okay, cool. The other thing you can do instead of just adding a measure, well, you can also click and delete. Simple as that. You can add beats as well. If you wanted to add an individual beat, maybe you just wanted to make something a 6/4, you can do that. I will say when you add a measure, it will just copy whatever the measure is selected is. So in this case, you could add a 6/4 measure. But let's say you're like, hey, I actually, for whatever reason, want to turn a beat into a measure. Just mark it as a measure and then boom, that's there. Once a beat is a measure, you can make it whatever you want, change the name, all of that. Just as easily, you can make it a beat, not a measure. Beats and measures are effectively the same thing, or we have beats and then the measures are just a true false flag. Is a beat a measure? And then when a beat is a measure, it prints it like that and it formats all of the numbers accordingly. Remove that, and then we can delete these two beats as well. So I very much hope that this is a very easy, whether it be Band-Aid or just tool to like manually edit. You can pretty much do whatever you want with a mix of this and this. I think it's kind of maybe not the best of both worlds, but together we are stronger kind of vibes. Like just better to use instead of having to rely solely on this. Yes, I'm wondering if there's anything I'm missing here. You can do that. I said you can remove measures, you can add measures, you can add beats, you can also delete beats, all of that. Yes, I hope it is very helpful. Oh, I know. You cannot, if there is a measure if there's a page that starts on that beat, you cannot delete it. If you're like, okay, well, then I'll just move it back. Okay, great. Now that can be deleted. Additionally, if a measure has a beat in it, or has a page that starts inside of it, you also cannot delete it. So if we deleted measure 17 here, page 4A ends on beat 3 of measure 17. Therefore, we cannot delete page that because this is how page 4A understands it's going to happen. And so if you're like, well, this is frustrating, I just want to delete that page, then you can just right click on the page, delete it, and then right click on 17, and then move that to wherever it was. And then delete the measure, and then boom, you're good. All in the sense to be as flexible as possible. It might not be the quickest thing right now, but there is not going to be anything that you cannot do to get your drill lined up with the tempo. We also refactored the tap tempo thing a little bit. So if you go into, I don't even know where I put it. Oh, it's here. Now, tap tempo, when you're in tap tempo mode, this was kind of tripping a lot of people up. Totally not their fault, my fault. It darkens the whole thing and says, hey, you're in tap tempo mode. Right now, I've talked about tap tempo mode in the past. It is very all or nothing. So we're, again, trying to make it better. The best thing I can say right now is like, I would love if you're like, hey, this tempo inspector is great. I really find this tap tempo super crucial. That kind of feedback, whether it be on the Discord or just an email, is really, really nice for us so we know what to put more time into. Personally, I like this tempo group, manual tempo entry kind of thing if I have sheet music. But if you're doing color guard or musical theater or whatever it is, you're like, this tap tempo thing is the only thing I use. Just let me know, because that is very helpful for knowing what to prioritize as far as those go. Okay. Next thing I'll say is on the topic of synchronization of audio. Let's say you have an audio file and you're like, okay, well, I have my audio file, but I need to like delay it a little bit. You can just go to our either down here to workspace settings or here to music. Both both work. And then you can add an audio offset. So let's say 5 seconds. That will add 5 seconds of silence before the show to do whatever it is to synchronize, and that you can just add tempo there. Same thing, you can make it negative. And then if you make it negative, that will start in the audio file if there's like a bunch of silence you don't want to deal with. Now with that, let's say you wanted to add 5 seconds of silence or something like that. Okay, great, but now my measures are all whacked up. You can change your measure number offset in the workspace settings down here to, let's say, -5, save, and then boom, you'll notice that our measure numbers are now offset by -5, and then once they get to 1, they just go on like that. Page numbers are exactly the same. Let's say you wanted to start, maybe this is movement 2 or something, you want to start at page 20. Boom. Now pages, this first page is page 20, and everything just adds after that. Same thing with measures, you can start at measure 50, and then boom. This default new page counts, default tempo, this is just how the app will behave when you try to create a new page that when there is no tempo defined. So when you create a new page, notice how it's like attaching to existing tempo. Let's say, hey, I want my new tempo to be 180 BPM, and actually we're going to be in 3/4, and I want all of the new pages to be 12. Just press save. And then now when you do that, whenever it creates new measures, it will automatically make those measures 3/4, and it'll automatically make the new page 12 counts. So click this, or click it like that, and you'll notice that we'll make enough measures to make that happen. And then, of course, you can edit these after the fact. Okay, so we have that, audio offset, measure page offset, metronome. Ooh, this is great. Very simple. Basically, we just have a metronome now. If you want it to activate, all you have to do is click it down here. It'll turn purple when it's active. And I think my audio recording is messed up. Oh, yeah, it's because you need the volume turned on, and I turned the volume off. But yeah, if you listen to it, you can turn the accent beat off. You can make it just click on the measure. Change the volume, beat style, sharp, smooth. I've never even heard that one. Yeah, I have to thank Druva for this. He's one of the contributors on the team. Great work with this. We basically, no matter how slow your computer is, this calculates an audio file when the app launches. So again, this will also be in sync with whatever you're using. I particularly find this useful for doing rehearsal runs. It's not a great metronome app. I'm not going to claim to be replacing any of the metronome apps that are out there, but I usually carry my laptop around like a baby, and it's nice to just be able to have the music and then turn the metronome on and off, all of that. Yeah, super nice to use, and yeah, you can adjust the volume there. Works really well. Cool. And I have 2 more things. The first thing is I am super excited about this. Maybe you might not care, but I do. We now have file icons for OpenMarch. If you're using the app already, you may have already noticed, but now our dots format shows a file icon, which is just really cool. I think ups the professionalism of the app a lot. When you double click on something, it will open in OpenMarch like you would expect from any sort of desktop app. Well, it's not doing it right now because this is a development build. But it should do it. It should do it. Just trust me. Or I hope it does. But yes, we have those file icons now. Great. Our graphic designer, Ben, same one who made the logo, did a great job on these. And we're probably, if we have more file formats, that'll be great. Cool. And then the last thing that I have is we improved our Windows code signing tool to actually go directly through Microsoft instead of doing this. There was a open source certificate that we got, and I'm going to adjust this. And so what that means, the only reason you should care is because that hopefully will make the smart screen warning, the Windows protected you from a virus error. If you're still getting that error, please say it in the Discord. I've spent so much time trying to figure out Windows not marking OpenMarch as a virus. So I would appreciate a little ping every time that happens. Then that's something I can elevate to Microsoft. OpenMarch is a valid LLC, and I submitted all the proper documentation. So if that's still happening for you as an end user, that's frustrating for you, because then you have to go through all those things. So all those things should work now. Auto updates, I've been kind of getting them to work not consistently on macOS, but I've been told on Windows, which is where like 60-80% of the OpenMarch user base is, they say it works great. So awesome. Windows or Mac and Linux people, sorry, I don't really know why the auto updates aren't working, but it notifies you of an update anyway. And if you just dismiss the update, it'll download the new one regardless. Yes, if you have any trouble with that, or if that is like getting flaky for you, let me know again. And yes, last thing I will say to wrap up this 45-minute video, I don't know if we're going to upload all of this or if Alexi is going to just chop it up for social media. I just want to say that I know I haven't done a video in a while, but I can't understate how much OpenMarch has meant to me in the past year. Or like, I've been building it for 2 years, but we hit our like 1 year anniversary of it being public around a little less than 2 months ago. And hundreds of schools and ensembles have already decided to put their trust in OpenMarch for their show, for designing their show. There's a million things you're worried about being an ensemble director, whether it be your performer's safety, whether it be like budget, whether it be parents, all of that. And the fact that OpenMarch can help people just think about one less thing, have one less bill to pay, has been incredible. And I'm very grateful for, we went to the Virginia Music Educator Clinic or conference. We also went to the Midwest Clinic. We went to Delaware Music Educator Conference. I thank you to everyone that I know in all of these states who have either taught with, who have taught me, who have like just people who have been helpful, who have like let us stay at, my wife Olivia and I stay at their house so we can save money on a hotel. We're going to a conference or getting us dinner or whatever it is. Like all of these things, the fact that people have been so forthcoming, and the OpenMarch team who like are working on it just out of the love of the game, are so forthcoming to help this project move forward has been incredible. I couldn't, there wasn't like 5 minutes when we were at the Midwest Clinic at our booth selling merch, showing off the product. There weren't 5 minutes that went by where someone didn't come by and say like, I love what you're doing. Like, this is so awesome. Or this saved my band program. Or like, I can't wait to get home and use this. Or I can't wait to use this in my marching methods class. I can't wait to show this to my students. Whatever it is, I am just so glad that people are choosing to believe in this. And I can only try as hard as I and the OpenMarch team can to make it something that the community wants to use, not something that they have to use because they just need to get a job done. Something that is actually enjoyable, something that is actually made for someone who just wants to get their ideas on the page. We're trying to make something that can let your creative vision flow through, not what we think your creative vision should be by however we designed it. So with all of that, I appreciate everything. If there's ever anything issues you run into, please message on the Discord. You can also just directly email contact@openmarch.com. We try to get bugs resolved as quickly as possible. Have a good rest of your, I don't know, gift card giveaway, YouTube outro. I don't do these very often.